Here's the series of events that led to the controversy at the Osceola County Jail. First, Michael Rigby's escape on February 19th. Almost a month later, a second inmate, Carlos Rosa, was able to escape. That was March 17th. Then on March 27th, jailers accidentally released the wrong inmate. 3 days later, the head of the Osceola County Jail, Chief Greg Futch, handed in his resignation.
He escaped February 19th by cutting this toilet with a handmade saw.
I'm not looking to fire people. That's not what my job is. My job is to identify the issues and find resolution. And that's what I'm going to do.
Last year, Kim Bogart was the executive director of the Florida Corrections Accreditation Commission. This same organization, which evaluates county jails, gave the Osceola County Jail a perfect score. Bogart says while accreditation is built on identifying that appropriate policies and procedures are in place, it is not a measure of an individual's performance. It's not the whole story.
The whole story is...
Authorities say Rigby's cellmate offered the guard $40,000 for a hacksaw to use to escape, but Caraballo didn't deliver.
It's hard to imagine that Hollywood hasn't jumped all over this. You would think it would be box office gold because it's part Spartacus and part Braveheart and part Amistad and part Glory with a little bit of Dances with Wolves thrown in. A story decades long of oppression and freedom fighting. I don't understand why there hasn't been more attention to
Osceola County. We have an agenda before us. It's available if you need a copy of it. On the agenda, it just says
Michael Rigby will be punished.
It's overlooked not just by filmmakers. It's not well known in popular culture, and in fact, it's been overlooked by historians of slavery, if you can believe it. In the early 18th century, two groups in particular fled the colonial South into Spanish Florida, into the Everglades. One of these groups were Seminoles, who were migrating from the various colonies, just trying to avoid white encroachment, basically, trying to move someplace that white colonists weren't. And the other group was runaway slaves. People who were fleeing and trying to create a free life for themselves. Both were welcome in Florida, and in fact, the Spanish crown offered runaway slaves their freedom if they would defend the land for the crown, for the Spanish. So a mixed society emerged in the Everglades of intermarriage, family intermingling between these runaway slaves and the Seminoles.
Kissimmee is a destination within a destination, located only minutes away from Orlando's world-famous theme parks. But there's so much more to experience here. Kissimmee is a place with discoveries as diverse as your mind can dream. From exploring lakes on airboats to cheering on knights in battle while you dine. Watch cruises of classic cars or dive into nature on a zipline safari. Stroll through quaint downtowns to dine and shop. Or be adventurous with an up-close animal encounter.
Kim Bogart comes to Osceola County with 16 years experience with the St. Lucie and Pasco County Sheriff's Departments, 9 years in public safety and management operations. But his key objective as Osceola County's interim jail director is to access jail operations.
And the areas that I'm looking very closely at are going to be security, facilities, investigations, personnel, policies and procedures, and programs, and evaluate those.
Only time will tell what happens. Get your soul covered in the blood of the Lamb and your name in the book of life.
You're going to spend a lot of time in prison.
The only thing promised to life is death. It's the only thing that's promised to life.
Scapegoat. Noun. 1. In the Mosaic Day of Atonement ritual, a goat symbolically imbued with the sins of the people, and sent out alive into the wilderness while another was sacrificed. 2. Someone punished for the error or errors of someone else. For example,
it's a good closer to a chapter in a very difficult time for Osceola County.
Almost 36 jail employees were cited partly for Rigby's escape for not following procedures.
The escapee who triggered a house cleaning at the Osceola County Jail.
And just how those staff members blamed in the escape of Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. That's something we may learn from the county manager or the chief of the jail as soon as tomorrow.
Someone punished for the error or errors of someone else. For example, he is making me a scapegoat.
The whole story is what I'm going to get, what I'm going to learn while I'm here. It takes this continuous monitoring, and it's holding supervisors accountable to be sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, not just when the assessors are here, but every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Kim Bogart says even though his contract is short, he adds that he can make a significant improvement in the way the jail operates. At the Osceola County Jail, I'm Gail Pascal Brown, West 2 News.
Gail, thanks. Here's the series of events that led to the controversy at the Osceola County Jail. First, Michael Rigby's escape on February 19th. Almost a month later, a second inmate, Carlos Rosa, was able to escape. That was March 17th. Then on March 27th, jailers accidentally released the wrong inmate. 3 days later, the head of the Osceola County Jail, Chief Greg Futch, handed in his resignation.
All I want to know is, why must I stay locked up for 27 years?
That could involve the FBI.
The public...
The community, they are afraid. That's the bottom line. They are afraid.
9 investigates allegations of corruption, money mismanagement, and nepotism at the Osceola County Clerk of Courts. And new at 6, we found out the mounting claims could lead to a criminal investigation against Armando Ramirez.
He needs to do his job and not keep thinking about politics and image and reputation.
The public trust may have been violated in the name of politics, with even more allegations.
Voters just aren't that impressed with criminal allegations against politicians.
Another crook.
Exactly. I think there is a sense out there, and it is stronger now than maybe it has ever been, that they're all crooked, that they're all, I mean, and Charlie Crist, sort of foments this, talking about how many people he's had to remove from office since he's been governor. You've got the former chairman of the party about to go on trial. I think that there is a strong sense in the general public that, yes, maybe Rick Scott did have something to do with Medicare fraud and Medicaid fraud, but probably so did everyone else. And so now I just want to hear who's the least crooked or who's the best of all the crooks, because they all are.
Currently, the jail is in a state of chaos.
We're working very closely with the Corrections Department, and we're trying to ease fears of the community that the jail is unsafe.
Certain checkpoints that previously were not manned round the clock are now.
The county's in the process of trying to make it for not secure, and it is secure, and we want everybody to know that.
I'm Tim Roberts at Osceola County Corrections Department. We have over 1,200 inmates, ranging from anyone who commits driver's charges all the way up to murder charges. My position is a correction officer, but
they are the men and women responsible for guarding people who have been arrested or who have been convicted of a crime and sentenced to serve time in a correctional institution. Duties include supervising inmate activities and maintaining good order, searching prisoners in their cells for weapons, drugs, and other items that may be forbidden, and occasionally breaking up fights between prisoners. Officers must even be prepared to respond to riots or hostage situations. Strength, good judgment, and the ability to think and act quickly are indispensable, while strength of character may be the most important personal trait of all. Correctional officers have a great deal of power over the lives of inmates, so they must have the ability to be firm and fair at all times.
It's going to take somebody to escape and kill somebody in the county.
And it is secure.
The inmate trying to break out is Angel Santiago, a violent felon serving 2 life sentences. Someone had gotten a pistol through jail security with a magazine containing enough bullets to kill or wound nearly a dozen people. Further investigation revealed this to be an inside job. Corrections officer Michelle Hung, who developed a relationship with Santiago behind bars, is charged with smuggling the gun inside.
That is right, Sion. Terrell McGowan didn't even pass his probation period. 30-year-old McGowan actually was arrested on Sunday night, charged with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia, according to the Osceola County Sheriff's Department. Now, of course, this comes after a number of problems at the jail and at least two people breaking out of the jail. Now, this is also prompting the National Institute of Corrections, or the NIC, which is a division of the U.S. Department of Justice, to step in and help. Now, I can tell you they did halt hiring procedures back on April 6th, and McGowan, the person who was arrested, was hired prior to April 6th. So again, he has been arrested just 2 weeks on the job, but National Security, or the National NIC, is coming in to step in today. We'll, of course, will follow this big story and continue to bring you the very latest. Reporting live in Osceola County, Erica Washington, WESH 2 News.
Thank you, Erica. And WESH 2 continues to be in front of this story for late break.
And it is secure, and we want everybody to know that.
Good morning, everybody. We are live outside the Osceola County Jail this morning. This was the scene of a jailbreak last night. According to the Sheriff's Office, 39-year-old Carlos Alberto Rosa broke out of the jail. He has been missing ever since 10 o'clock Tuesday evening. The Sheriff's Office, they have had dogs on the ground. They have had deputies all over the county.
Officials today admitted razor wire around the perimeter of the jail was incorrectly installed, so it did not prevent inmates from leaving the jail. The state will now review procedures at the jail.
Was it easy to get out?
It was easy to get out.
Problems are piling up at the Osceola County Jail, and
2 escapes and a mistaken release has left.
We've had some challenges this week.
Left the Osceola County Jail with a major black eye.
And those elected officials found themselves in some hot water today.
Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished. Michael Rigby will be punished.
Going to adjudicate you guilty of the charges, sentence you to 22 years in the Department of Corrections with credit for 473 days time. So indicated, I'm going to designate you as a habitual felony offender.